All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I'm the lead instructor here at BYOB Trading. Hey, let's go take a look at some charts today. Let's start off with SPY, okay, on the 10-minute chart. All right, got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close unless that changes inside of 12 minutes, 13 minutes. Okay, 2 hour. 2 hours, still got a 2 hour uptrend coming into the close. Okay, on the daily chart. On the daily chart, we have a lower high and a lower low, closing over bullish trap over the rising 17. Right up here at resistance, looking like 567 being our resistance area up top here, about 567.42. All right, so there's SPY on the daily chart. Daily chart still in an uptrend. Higher low, higher high. That's an uptrend. Closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP. I would expect sometime soon before rising higher, a pullback to the all-time high anchored VWAP and a bounce off of that back up here and begin a consolidation process. Okay, so all-time high anchored VWAP is basically about 550, 549.43. I would expect a pullback to there, some gap fills, and then a bounce and consolidate right underneath this 567.42. Okay, so there's SPY. SPY daily in an uptrend. Okay, price action as far as it goes, not in the upper third, so just neutral. All right. Up over the all-time high anchored VWAP, up over the midpoint, making higher lows, higher highs, still in an uptrend. Okay, so there's SPY. 2-day chart, still in a downtrend. They got to take out this high over here to negate it. All right, 3-day, still in a downtrend. They got to take out this high to negate it. Weekly, still in a downtrend. They're going to have to come take out this high to negate the downtrend on the weekly. On the monthly time frame, we are still in an uptrend. All right, just not moving up. All right, well, actually, we did move up from this low quite a bit. Okay, you can see well over 50% right there. Okay, so take that off. All right, so price action for SPY on the monthly. Let's take a look at the game plan. We'll look at that on the 5-minute chart. The game plan was price action underneath here, looking for a red candle to break down. Never quite got it. I got faked out right here, and I got stopped out on some puts. I think some others got stopped out on some puts too. Price action looking like it was going to break down, making lower highs and lower lows, looking like a breakdown was imminent, and then they turn around and melted it back up to the upside. Okay, we had a 10-minute uptrend. We traded this for green erases red. Okay, so the red was this brick right through here this morning. The opening range. They came back, tested the opening range, and then ripped up here. Okay, and then we had green erases red right over the top of this plateau right there. Was a green erases red entry right here for a gap fill, which is right here, this dash line. Okay, then we got another green erases red event right over the top of these wicks right there, and you could traded that on this breakout through here. Bear in mind you're right underneath resistance here. Okay, it's not the best trade to take right underneath resistance. They're easier to take when they're way back here and moving up. Okay, so price action hit here about 245 today. Ever since hitting there, it's been just melting off right now. So they made a lower high right here. So chances are we're going to come check out this low. All right, and if we get through that low, probably going to come down to a couple of gap fills below here. All right, and then don't forget that all-time high anchored VWAP is also down there. Okay, all-time high anchored VWAP, which is way down here, about 548, 49 area, way down there. Okay, so they made a lower high. Chances are they're going to come test out the lows. If the lows fail us, they're probably going to come down here and begin a consolidation pattern all the way down here. All right, we'll see what happens. There's SPY on the 5-minute chart. You can see the bullish entry was never triggered. Price never got over the pivot to get bullish over the pivot, but we did have 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. See the space between VWAP and the price action. So we played those 10-minute uptrends into the gap fill. All right, so there's price action right there. Now we're getting a breakdown. This would be a bearish entry right here, right underneath 563.97. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to buy some puts. All right, and I struck out on these puts earlier. I think I'll buy 10 of those puts right there. See if I can get filled. And that would be for price to pull back to these lows and that all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, so there's SPY on the 5-minute for the game plan. So I just bought some puts. Okay, no, I got to order in to buy some puts. And see how close I am? I'm about 10 cents off. So I might as well back this off to 5. All right, because I don't like chasing. So I'll put it at 335. See if I can get filled at 35. All right, so there's SPY on the 5-minute chart getting a breakdown below VWAP. This is the rubber band candle right here. I do expect it to be broken. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I'm not getting filled. Got filled for 2. All right, I'm expecting a pullback to the 550 area. We'll see what happens. So there's the SPY game plan. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ, same deal. All right, gap down and the bulls filled the gap. All right, that's a bullish environment. Right now, bulls failed to make a higher high. All right, so guess what? The bears are going to come down here and check out the low again, test the low to see if they're going to hold. Okay, because the bulls failed to make the higher high. QQQ pivot was 488.55 above it on a bull, below it on a bear. You can see we never really got above it. There's a rubber band candle there, never got broken, so no reason to take this long. All right, the greenish green erases red entry over 490.80, never got close, only barely just made the pivot on the gap down, and the gap got filled. So the bearish entry never got triggered until actually right about here, where you got red erases green. Green would be right here. Take the box, get the green, okay, from here up to there. And the red would be red erases, green would be from up here all the way down to starting day right here. Okay, so there's QQQ. Let's take a look at that. Let's trash that out. All right, let's take a look at that on the daily chart. All right, so on the daily chart, what did we get? We got, just like SPY, lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap, over the 17, okay, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, over the midpoint, just neutral, in an uptrend, making high lows and higher highs. That's QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGA. All right, and it is an inside day. All right, it's a lower high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. I'm on the daily chart, making higher lows and higher. I don't think that was like that before. And higher highs, so that's a daily uptrend, FNG. Okay. Lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17, making higher lows and higher highs. Okay, so that's an uptrend. Caught underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, caught underneath the midpoint on the backside of this downtrend line. So price looking good there on FNGA. All right, let's take a look at IWM, aka the Russell 2000. Got a lower high and a lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, no longer in the lower third, so just neutral right through here. So that's IWM, Diamond Dow. All right, and it is in, I gotta look, 514.44, that's the high, 513.87, so that's a higher high. And the low, 510.33, 510.46. Okay, so that's a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap. Okay, over the 17, over the downtrend line, but under the all-time high anchored VWAP and over the midpoint here. Okay, it's in an uptrend, higher low, higher high. There's a low. Excuse me. There's a high. It made a higher high, so that makes it in an uptrend. So there's Diamond Dow right there. Let's take a look at IWM. All right, Diamond Dow in an uptrend and neutral. All right, IWM just neutral, no longer in the lower third. Price action is a lower high and a lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, no longer in a downtrend. Still caught underneath the midpoint and this all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so that's just neutral right through there. Okay, so IWM neutral, Diamond Dow, you can see still neutral right there at the midpoint. Okay, FNGA. Okay, still neutral right here at the midpoint. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY is still neutral right there at the midpoint. Right there. Okay, so just over the midpoint, not in the upper third. Okay, so that's just neutral right through there. And QQQ. QQQ, no longer in the not in the upper third, so just neutral right there until it gets in the upper third. There's QQQ. Let's take a look at XLE. All right, XLE lower high, lower low, closing under a trap under the 17, under downtrend line 1, under downtrend line 2, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, or the 12-month high anchored VWAP right here. Price action looks like a praying mantis. Price action, all right, for XLE, still bearish and still in a downtrend. Okay, in a downtrend but moving up currently. Okay, still bearish, still in a downtrend. Okay, there's XLE. Let's take a look at USO. USO lower high, lower low, closing under the trap under the 17 EMA, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, quadrant 1. That's still in a downtrend, still bearish in quadrant 1, still underneath the midpoint and underneath the all-time high. USO still in a downtrend, still bearish. UNG got a higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17, over the all-time high. Wait, the 12-month high anchored VWAP, but under the downtrend line. Price action is currently for all right, gold and silver. GLD. Gold. Higher low, higher high, closing over bullish cross over the 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, still in an uptrend, up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Silver, lower high, inside day, lower high, Your lower high, higher low, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17, over the 6-month high and the 12-year high, anchored VWAP right there, making a higher low. Still in a downtrend on silver. All right, let's take a look at SMH. SMH has got lower high, lower lows in the neutral zone, not in the upper third, not in the lower third, still underneath all-time high anchored VWAP, still in an uptrend. SMH in an uptrend and just creeping up, not by much. Big brother to SMH, XLK, a little stronger, a little more leaner, a little lower high, lower low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, price action over the midpoint, under the uptrend line right there, not in the upper third, so just neutral. XLK. Let's take a look at XLF. Is lower high, lower low, closing over a trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Price action is bullish up here in the upper third and in an uptrend, making higher lows and a higher high. Let's take a look at IYT. Transports, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap. No longer in the lower third, so that's neutral. Over the trap, over the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. So just neutral and in an uptrend. All right, IYT. All right, that's it for me today, traders. All right, if you enjoyed what you saw today, I can imagine it was hard to see, only because it didn't really provide me a great day to show off. All right, and show you all the skills that I have. But all in all, it's not about my skills. It's all about whether you can make money here in our room. All right, so right now we have a special, a pre-tariff special, $7 for 30 days. All right, and you get to hang out here in the room. By the way, I do free coaching. All right, so if you need coaching, be an excellent time. This is the first time someone's put together a total package. All right, where you get to come in the room, you get the first 30 days for like $7. You get free coaching to go along with it, free 15-minute coaching to go along with it, along with all the other books and tutorials that go along with it. If when you do subscribe, because that trial does turn into a full-fledged membership. All right, and you get to hang out and visit the members e-learning. If you're wondering about all the members e-learning, let me just show you the library that we have in the members e-learning, because there's a lot there. All right, and right here, okay. All right, so here under resources, public webinar. All right, these are all our public webinars when we used to do them back in 2024, and there's 10 per page. All right, get this, all videos for you to watch. All right, there's 20 pages of 10 per page. It's 200 videos right there. All right, okay, then on top of all of that, okay, come down to resources again, and then you get e-learning replays. Okay, these are what we've been doing lately. All right, and then you've got 10 per page. Check this out. All right, and there's 31 pages of 10 per page. So that's like 310 videos right there. Okay, all e-learning. Okay, on certain subjects. Okay, so there's 500 videos right there at your disposal. Well, for your viewing pleasure and for your education. All right. Not to mention, you got me for free coaching. All right, and you get to hang out here in the room and take some trades along with us. I'm sorry today didn't provide a better environment for you to learn in, but I just want to say I think you'll find that if you spend 30, 60 days in here, it will benefit you. I will change your life. All right, I will help make you more profitable. I will help you grow your account faster. All right, that's my commitment. Again, if you look at my my motto, it's I'm not a success unless you're a success, right here on the notes, okay? That's my motto right there. I'm not a success unless you're a success. Again, I can print profits almost every day, okay? As you can see right here, okay? Printing profits. All right, I can print profits almost every day, but it comes down to whether you can do it, okay? And that's why I'm here, to help you find the entries, put the stop loss in, all right? Think about it. If we didn't put that stop loss in this morning, all right, that trade would have ran all the way up to gap fill, all right? So it's a good thing we put that stop loss. Trader X, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all your help. You were awesome today. Again, pat yourself on the back. You know, top shelf for you, buddy. All right? You did great. Stick in the mud. What's the regular price? $7. All right? I don't know what it's going to, but I know everybody's offering a pre-tariff special. All right? So why not me? Right? Thanks, Jim. I'm sure. Thanks. All right. See, there's Jim. There's another satisfied customer. Fred. I know Fred's a satisfied customer. Alpha Dog. Robert. Yeah, I know he's a satisfied. Brad's been with me for a while. I know he's pretty satisfied. Great cash course. Yep. Don't forget the PowerPoint, Brad, up there in the video files. Okay. Right here. All right. I've got the recording. I'll drop that in later. All right. Rahul, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody that visited and hung out with me today. I'm sorry that circumstances weren't better, all right? But, you know, next time maybe things will be better. Let me just say, most of the time, you know, we can bang out a really nice 10-minute uptrend. Today was nothing but a melt-up, all right? Thanks, Bob. Good deal? Yeah, good deal for 30 days, absolutely. Just logged in today. I miss anything? Yeah, BYOB's the best. Thanks, Robert. All right. Again, if you want the trial, it's right here. Ed's already posted it up for us. Eric, thanks for hanging out with us. Raul, thank you. Eric, again, thank you so much. Jim Wilson, thank you. Again, I appreciate everybody that came and hang out with me today. All right. Had a pretty good day. Alan gave me a note. All right, let me just take it down here. He doesn't know that I'm broadcasting. I don't recall there's a video or present for entry, stops, and loss. You need to refine both. Thanks. No rush today. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. That's it for me for today, traders. Okay. I hope you take a 7-day trial. Come hang out with me for a couple of weeks. All right, it's 30 days. All right, it's just $7. Hope to see you there. All right, everybody have a wonderful evening.